Yeah.
It's actually really brave. And like, you're like, to be a young, obviously the way you grew up, and you're young and brave and have been successful, and you have so much confidence in yourself. Because I think a lot of people would just continue down the same thing over and over, and not really stop and think like, what would really make me happy? And if I were to slow down on something like this, would the universe bring me something even more exciting? I think a lot of people are afraid to even try that. And also, when you were just saying how, you had to let some people go, and you had created such a great job for them, I think in those ways, and I think when I think about us, is that those people now have their experience with you and that on the resume that will make them be successful. Everyone will want to have like an employee that worked for you and had got the experience.
I hope so. I hope so.
Mm-hmm.
It was probably one of the hardest thing I've ever had to do in our business. But I was like, well, and also the financials weren't making sense either. Like I'd hired
Yeah.
all these people and we were making more money, but the overhead was so big. I'm like, oh my gosh. I was like this. I'm like, I was like taking on every partnership I could just to, and some that
Yes.
were I was even aligned with, just so I could make sure and meet the overhead. And I'm like, as a business, it wasn't making sense either. But yeah, it is hard and it is scary. And I have to say, the one thing I'm fortunate enough is that I'm in a position where I can make that decision. A lot of people financially cannot
Mhm.
make that decision.
Yeah.
They have to keep on going, and I want to recognize that. But I keep on thinking about my worst case scenario. And not
Hmm.
that there's anything wrong with Peace River, because Peace River is my happy place. But my worst case scenario is that I lose all of this beautiful house, the farm, the fancy car, the pool, whatever, and I go back to my roots, which was a little house at the end of a cul-de-sac that and a shitty old car, a Buick Pontiac, whatever it was. And guess what? I was really happy back then. I was really happy
Mm.
back then, where I had to scrimp and save. I had to buy secondhand. I had to think twice, like, and I was really happy back then. So I just keep on telling myself that these things and this money and this status or whatever is not what's actually making me happy. I know it's not, because I lied there in yoga on Friday and cried to David Gray the entire time, because I was imagining a time where I was broke and I didn't know what I was doing, and I didn't have a job, but I was the freaking happiest person ever,
Mm.
driving with wind in my hair, listening to David Gray, and so it's not, it is easier said than done. Of course, you've got to pay your bills and have food in your tummy and a roof over your head. I get that, but more isn't always better.
Mm. That is
I,
the
I,
lesson that we would want all of our kids
I
to
was just
really
going to
deeply
say,
understand.
I think that the number one reason we can take risks and not be afraid is because we know we would always figure it out. And if that meant we had to go back to being a waitress
Mhm.
and
Yeah,
double shift. And I think that that's the biggest gift you can have and give to your children, is knowing you'll be okay. You'll figure,
yeah,
if you can figure shit out no matter what, and you're not afraid of what you don't have, you're
totally.
going to be okay. And most often it works out on the other side, because you can look at the whole picture rather than being like, I actually can't try that because I'm strapped to this. Like, if you're
Yeah.
strapped to something, you're always strapped to it. But if you have the freedom to be like, I'm going to be okay. Like a 1 bedroom apartment with 3 of us doesn't scare me.
I think
Or
that
five
all
of
it
us.
sounds like all three of us, a
We
blessing.
all live together for that
Yeah,
moment.
yeah,
Did
we're
you
all
see that? We're
yeah,
like the
yeah.
three of us
Yeah,
in
I
an
love it.
apartment
All
was
three of us.
fine,
Yeah,
right?
right. I
None of us
love
have
it.
kids or
I'm
husbands
sold.
in this moment.
And I
Where
think
can I
that the
sign up?
blessing,
Done.
the blessing that we have, that we want, we always say we really want to have our children have this perspective, is the three of us. I mean, by what you just said, we knew what it was like to not live with very much at all,
Right.
and watch our parents struggle, and know that we still were having fun and we were still
Totally.
happy. I think that that's a great perspective the three of us have, and we just have to make sure our kids
Those spoiled
learn.
By the
fuckers.
way,
I don't know.
speaking of you girls and kids, which one of it was you was talking the other day about, you posted on Instagram about your kids like knowing how to get themselves ready in the morning and getting out the door. Oh
Chloe.
my God. I was thinking about you this morning, because I'm like, oh my
Mhm.
God, brush your teeth. Like, just go and brush your teeth. I'm like, as they're going out the door, I'm like, okay, how do I train these
Mhm.
children
Mhm.
to be more? And it's because I'm literally
Yep.
still putting their clothes on and putting food in their mouth in the morning. And I'm like, "Ah, I can't do this anymore."
And that's our job, right? Like that. And that's the hardest thing, is because we're capable. We can do it better than them. We can do it faster than them, but they'll never learn if we continue to do it. And then we blame them like, you never brush your teeth. That's because we didn't leave it to you.
I had a third and I didn't have physical time to actually do every single thing for her. And when I tell you, she does her water bottle, makes her breakfast, she's 8, gets her clothes on, knows what uniform to wear, packs her bag, is hat on, ready to go before anybody else, makes her bed, Jillian.
And
It
not
makes
just makes her bed,
with
makes her bed like
pillows.
Jilly style. Like
With
it's all like beautiful. She like tucks the blankets, puts the pillows.
folds her laundry, knows how to do her laundry. It is. I'm like, you're a gold star.
You
You
did
are a
good
gold star
job.
student.
Oh
It is
my
not
gosh.
because I did have a tita who what the best thing I ever did was have her because
We
she
should have had her raise all of them.
the other ones
Tita, like
were
a nanny?
yeah,
Yes.
tita, yeah, like we have they're like aunties, and she brought her daughters to work every day with her, the same age as my daughter, and together they collectively are like just remarkable people who learned she's like the best.
So capable, appreciated all the things the city had to offer, taught them like she was their tutor. Like Chloe knew how to like read and write before she started school because of this lady.
And loved it and is like an eager learner, and I'm like, wow.
Yes, and I should say, because also she's like, we call her Auntie Sissa, but she is our nanny. We found her, she cleaned house for us, and then I didn't have a nanny and I needed somebody, and she's like so cute. She had her like cigarettes in her boob, and she's like, I'll take care of him. And I was like, do you have any experience? She's like, nope. I'm like, can you do this? You're hired. And it's been 10 years now. She's probably listening to me. She's
Oh
here
my
now.
gosh.
But when the kids started going to school full time, she's like, well, what do I do now? And I'm like, oh, you're not going anywhere.
You're going
And she's
nowhere.
like,
Oh, it's
"Is-
harder now because in the minutia of everyone. But my teacher left and went to Calgary. Actually, she went to Edmonton. She went out west, and I was like, we went out west and did a show, and she came to the show, and we honored her, and I showed a video of all the. It was so sad, and I was like, I miss you.
We did not want her to move.
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah. So anyways, I've been through lots of stuff, lots of businesses, lots of things, and everything's changing, and I'm super excited about it. And I don't even know how it's gonna play out.
How's your mom now?
She's good. I think she's good. She was really good. And then it's weird. Like I've been living with her like this my whole life. And so I recognize these changes in her that nobody else recognizes. I think my dad does, but my dad, God bless him, he's going to heaven. He just wants to support her. So he would just never say anything to upset her. So they just left to Arizona the day before yesterday, and on the way back from Hawaii, granted it was a big trip, and then she had to do a red eye, but she seemed very disoriented, and that started to worry me because usually when she's like really forgetful and really disoriented, she's going down the path of either like manic or depressive, and neither one of them are great. They're both really hard to manage. And so I've been asking her, like, I think we should just have a conversation with your doctor. And she started, see what happens is she doesn't want me to talk to her doctor because she's afraid. And I'm like, what are you afraid of? Like, so I think she's okay. But I'm a little bit nervous. I just got to keep a really close eye on the situation.
And she lives in Calgary.
She lives here in Kelowna.
Okay, good.
But they go down to Arizona they haven't gone for a couple of years because she's been sick, but they're going down there right now. And you know what the thing is, the brain, it needs lots of rest. It needs, my mom's like me, she's a real busybody. Like I could see how something like this would happen to me if I don't take care of myself, because my brain is always going, and I'm a busybody, and it gets a bit, not erratic, but it gets a bit like, yeah, I don't know how to explain it. And so
you begin to like not think straight. Like it's almost
exactly.
like the minutia takes over, and nothing.
Totally.
No, it's like you're too far. Like you have
Like
to
a rattling brain of thoughts.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it no one can get to you because you're gone. It's like
Totally.
brrr, and then you have to come back.
And the saddest thing with my mom is that back in the 90s, late 80s, when she was diagnosed with bipolar, I just wished that they would have said, I wish that somebody would have said, huh, like, let's look at what else. Like, do you have Lyme's disease? Were you hit in the, like, does she have like, she always talks about how her and her brother and sisters would fight all the time and how she hit her head really hard as a kid. Like, is it that? Does she have like a heavy metal toxin? Is she allergic? Like, what actually is it? So like, is she getting enough rest? Is it her lifestyle? They never did that. They just put her on Prozac back then, right? And then so basically she's been on drugs ever since. And not that there's anything wrong with being on pharmaceuticals, because I know that she would not be alive without them. But now we just cannot figure out what the actual freaking problem is. Like, is it actually bipolar? Is it like, what is it? And so I look at her, and she'll be 70 next year. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like what a life. Like she has struggled with this her entire life, and she will
Wow.
probably struggle with it until she dies. and she's so talented. She's an artist. She's an entrepreneur. She was a better mom than I was.
She's a grandma.
She's a grandma. Like, she was so patient with me. Like, sometimes the way I react to my kids, I'm like, my mom would never say this to me. Like,
Wow.
how did my mom do this? How did my mom juggle? She was an entrepreneur. How did she juggle all these things? And also, my mom and dad like got separated, back together. They struggled with alcoholism, but yet my mom was like the best mom ever. So anyways, people, the mental health situation is a real freaking thing. And you know, you got to do what you got to do, but like the rest, my mom needs rest. And so hopefully in Arizona, she gets rest and she gets some sunshine and hopefully she stays better. But I just know that it's not a guarantee with my mom. That
Jillian, I have I have a family member with bipolar, and their children were able to test if they were gonna some of it's hereditary, correct? Like there was a test they could do. Okay, so
Really?
yeah, I feel like when they were, because they were close to we were family, and I remember they were like, we're testing our kids to see if they are predisposed to. I have to go back and.
Well, that'd be super interesting because they don't even really know if it really is bipolar.
Because it was someone close to my family, and I remember we lived, like, I would see exactly what you're talking about, and we wouldn't know what it was called for a long time. And the manic was quite extreme, right? Like, you know, unclothed in a public area, like really, quite
really bad.
Quite like, please find them. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't it's not just like
it's not a comfortable situation. Yeah, it is.
Or like, so I was just curious if you had heard. I didn't know.
How do you know though? How do you, like, there's no test that you can really take, is there?
I will email this person like right after this, or text them, but I feel like they
I'd love a heads up.
Yeah.
Do they have a genetic marker? We don't know. I guess you don't know. You don't know what, if it's mental health, I guess. I don't know. Okay, I'm going to find out for you.
Yeah.
Okay. We so appreciate you being so open. It's literally.
I could talk to you ladies for like 4 hours.
Oh my God. I feel like if we had wine, you still drink wine?
Oh, I still drink wine. Yes.
I don't, these days I don't know. Are we dry? Are we not dry? I have to make sure, but we still drink too. So wine and some conversation. Holy shit. We wouldn't leave Cactus Club.
Oh my gosh.
Cactus Club. Oh my gosh.
Bowls.
Yeah, no, I got my hair done last night and it was a Sunday night and I'm like, I do not need to drink wine, but Nicole, who comes over and does my hair, I'm like, okay, are you having a glass of wine? I'll have a glass of wine every time. I'm like, here we go.
Here we go again.
Justin's making pasta and anyhow, 3 bottles of wine. But I feel great today.
I love it. You look great.
Wait,
it's because I started when I was in grade 7.
Exactly.
Is Justin from Kelowna? No.
No, he's from Calgary.
So you imported him. Got it. Okay. But
did his parents get a house there after you imported him?
No, so his grandma and grandpa were like here from the very beginning. I think they came from like Ontario back in like the 50s or 60s. So they actually his grandparents had a house here and then they had a place on the lake here. So Justin grew up coming here. And then his parents, Justin and I, when we bought our house here, then Justin's parents were like, okay, we need to kind of move So Justin's parents' business is here. So then they bought a condo here and now they have the place on the lake. So they're like 50% here, 50% in Calgary, which is very convenient.
So nice. You have everyone close to you.
Yeah,
that's
it's
like
so nice
for everyone.
I also love that we learned so much about you, and I've been following you for years and I had no idea. So like, thank you for being so open, because I feel like you're everything looks so perfect. So it is no, it's not. But I said to Nat recently, and I know we have to go, but I was like, even as adults, we get lullified.
I don't know
what that word is, but like we get lulled into the fact that everything else looks perfect for everybody else, and we tell our kids no, but for some people you just think it is.
You still have that person online. You're like, I swear to God, she really does have that perfect
like
life.
The people who change out the decor for seasons blow my mind. Like, you change the flowers and the books and the candle, like you make it like Christmas or Halloween. Like, I'm like, wow. But it's
often that's those people's passion. They love to do it.
Yeah.
This is not important, but are you ever going to get married?
Also, going back to everything is perfect. I try my best to be as authentic and to tell people it's not perfect, but the problem is I'm so inconsistent and my people expect consistency. So I'm so afraid to say like, this is how I'm feeling today. And then the next day I'm feeling great. And they're like, what the hell's happening? Anyways,
but it's just pretty. You're so aesthetic. You're pretty. It's so pretty. It looks perfect.
My job is to create a pretty aesthetic, but I'm just
you're an interior designer after all.
Nobody's life, including my own, is perfect behind the
Mhm.
scenes. In fact, this week especially has been really hard for our family. For some reason, everybody's butting heads. We cannot align. There's been lots of tears this week. There's been lots of like, it's been a terrible week, but that's okay. That's what makes the good weeks the good weeks. But anyhow, are we ever going to get married? I don't know. I don't know. I've got 2 dresses and they're really beautiful. I'd love to show them to everybody one day. But it does
Ask your
seem-
accountant. That's the person who should tell you yes or no.
yeah, he wants us to get married. He like loves a good party.
Oh, I mean for taxes though.
He loves
I'm
a
like,
good
Oh, for
party.
taxes.
I'm like, look at taxes. Don't think about the party or the
Oh,
commitment. Look at the
oh.
money, babe.
Yeah, Keys was just here. He's like, when's the wedding? Like, I want you guys to get
Mm.
married. Justin and our family really want to get married. One of the things that's holding us back a lot is everybody wants us to get married in a church except for me. I am not religious or Catholic at all, and I don't want to start out our marriage in a place that we don't go to church. I mean, I don't go to church. And so that's a big one. I feel a lot of pressure.
Wow, that is a big one.
Yeah, that's it. Not a lot of people know that. So I'm just throwing it all online right now. And I'm sorry for those of you who think that I'm terrible because I don't want to get married in a church, but
Oh,
I just,
Same. I didn't get married in a church, and I had
I
a
don't
martini
want to.
bar. Right after I walked down the aisle and chugged martini. So I'm not. I'm
and
with
I
you
got
there.
married in church, and I show my kids. They're just like, "Why did you get married in a church?" I'm like, "I have no idea."
Yeah, no, I did not get married in church.
Yeah,
And
and
I had
I
a pastor
appreciate
who
it.
was gay, by the way. I had a someone who was from United, and
I
she
love
had
that.
her wife with her. So
I love
I
that.
really threw everything to the wind. You know, I was
Everything.
like,
And for those, like, I appreciate it for those who are, but like, I also
Mhm.
don't want to be in a place that isn't true to me. That's not fair to
nope.
anyhow.
Ah.
So there's that. And then also, weddings are expensive.
Yes.
Yeah.
And to have also a Jill wedding where everybody's like like I feel a lot of pressure
Oh,
that the
yeah.
wedding needs to look a certain way for people, and I don't know if I want to spend that kind of money.
I feel
And
ya.
I kind of like that you haven't, and that's the thing where
Yeah.
people are like, they aren't. I love that for you. I mean, I
And
kind of
then
wish I
everybody's
was
like,
like
"Oh,
that.
well, get a contra wedding." And I'm like, "Yeah, but then I'm working my entire wedding
Yeah,
to make
no.
Yeah,
sure that
That's the
everything
first
is."
thing I thought to myself, and I was like, no, then you don't really get to. Yeah, then it's like you owe them something.
Yeah. So I don't know. Every single year, Justin, we have wedding planners. They're amazing. They're absolutely amazing. Every single year, they're like, "What about Banff? What about the?" So it was supposed to be this summer, but then the farm burnt this summer.
Yes.
So it was supposed to be this coming summer, but now the farm's all singed, and so we were like, "No, we can't do it down there." And so we were just kind
What
of
about
like,
Vegas? Like a quick, dirty weekend wedding in Vegas. Would that ever happen?
Hmm.
I don't know.
Mm,
But why?
Okay.
Or how about just keep on doing what we're doing? I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm with you on that one. Just
That's like
fucking,
I
you
keep
just had
ask-
wedding planners. I was like, what do you? I would get married again, and I would do it 5 different ways. So I would go to Vegas. I would go to Hawaii. I would go to an all inclusive. I would do it all.
I was
over.
also wondering because during the pandemic, my sister had to postpone her wedding, and now she's having kids and stuff. And I was like, I wonder if you ever really will ever get married. Not that I care if you get married. I just would love to go to the party, and I was a
know.
bridesmaid.
So same thing happened to her, it happened to me. She's supposed to get married during
Yep.
the pandemic. That was Justin
Yep.
and I. And then, but when we had to cancel our wedding, I was like, yes, not because I didn't
Yes.
want to marry Justin, but because
No.
it so overwhelmed. Also the guest list, like
Oh,
that is another thing that paralyzes me. I just look at the guest list.
Yeah.
We probably redone our guest list 20 times. I'm like, I don't know if I can tell certain people no. Like, I don't know.
you know
I
what
don't
I
know
see for
everybody has
you?
a wedding.
I see a surprise wedding where you don't tell people that you're getting married, and it's like an intimate dinner party, and then it's like surprise. I
like
want to go
that.
to one of those
I
too.
want to go to one of those
Let's
too.
do that.
I was just at one. I was just
And
at one.
10 out of 10.
Yeah, it was amazing. But I don't know
So
if I would do
fun.
it.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think I might get remarried again. Let's do that. You and I maybe get married and do a dinner party. I love
I'm
that.
sure it'll happen one day. I don't know. But
No, I like it. Don't
I
do it.
loved this podcast. It was, thank you so much. I would come on anytime. I was kind of all
Okay.
over the place, but I didn't have
No,
any.
we like that. That's how we are. You are
Okay.
you.
I
And when
just-
you come to Toronto, call us. And when we come
Yes.
to Kelowna, we were supposed to come to Kelowna twice, but COVID fucked us and something else fucked us. So we'll be
Okay.
back one day to Kelowna.
When
We'll
you
go to the
guys
Cactus
come, is
Club.
it with your families? Do you come with your
No, for a show. We're supposed to do a show there.
Okay, if you come to Kelowna, please let me know. If it's just the two of you, you have to stay in our farmhouse. It is so
Isn't
magical.
it gone?
No, the farmhouse is still there, and it is so cute. It's literally like heaven out there. It's so adorable, and you girls can come stay. It won't fit all 7, 8, 10.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
11.
we go alone. We travel alone.
How far is it
Okay.
from your house?
5 minutes. It's 5 minutes. It's
By the way, we have 7 children, Jill. Seven
Wait.
7 children, and there's 2 of us, so there's 9.
Wait,
yeah.
you have another house 5 minutes from your house?
Yeah, and it's only like 800 square feet. It's from the 1930s. It's everything it is from Facebook Marketplace, but it is literally like the cutest. So we're gonna build our dream house, our forever home, on that property. And we
Oh,
were
okay.
supposed to start a long time ago, but every year there's been an issue. We have an easement, we've had issues with the neighbors. So I'm like, I'm not doing anything until all of the trees are down from the fire and our neighbors have their own road and we have our own road. So we've just had like 4 years of that. Once we have our own road, then we'll build a house there and then sell this one, which will be sad because I love this house, but that will.
But apparently, we could talk forever.
I
I'm
know.
gonna take a screenshot for us. Okay,
go.
go.
I just want to ask one more thing. How come the one you're in isn't your forever? What is the other one going to have that this one doesn't
On the
have?
water. She's on the
So
water.
On the water?
I love, no, I don't care about
Oh.
any of that. I love hosting Christmases, and we have 33 people in our family and growing because everybody's still having kids. And it's the main area is not big enough to host Christmas. That's number one.
I love that.
Number two, this house doesn't have an office, and so I'm in my dining room right now, and everybody, I'm like, Justin is working in the garage, Melissa, like everybody has to so nobody's got their
Okay.
own space here. So those are mainly the 2 things, and also we built this house on a budget and in a rush, and I was filming the Jillian and Justin show, Loved or Listed, and was having Leo, and so I didn't get to really do it myself, and I want to like do the process, like slowly design a home, really think about it. And so yeah, so that's that. And when we found the farm, it's just so beautiful. It wasn't that we were looking for it, but we found it and it was just like heaven. If I could take this house and bring it there, I probably would, but I can't. So
I feel like you should have an HGTV show.
I know, but you don't get paid enough and it's really annoying and really invasive.
Yeah, and then they take everything, half of
And
it.
then
Like,
they
you
take
can have this, you
everything.
can have that. Okay. Oh my God, Jillian, we love you.
What
God,
do
we
you
can do
have
this
to say?
forever.
Okay.
Anytime, I'd love to come back anytime in any capacity. You guys want to do anything together? You need me for anything? I'm game.
Wait,
I can't hear you guys. But...
Same. Bye.
Love you. Love you. Have an amazing day. Mwah.